What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Martin, and today I am taking a look at this BMW Z4 M40i. So the Z4 has been updated, quite some minor updates, but the thing they should have updated hasn't been updated. I'll tell you all about that later. So since the current model BMW Z4 has been a very successful model, they haven't changed that much. That's always when you know a model is doing well with the LCI. When they change a lot, it's not doing all that well. When they change very few things, that's a cue that the model has been doing very, very well. So the Z4 is the latter, because it's a beautiful car. It always has been, but with the small updates that they've made, I think it's even more beautiful. So what they did is give it a bit of a shark nose. As you can see, that's new because they redesigned the kidneys. Beautiful kidneys, by the way. They can still do that over at BMW. These little elements are new. What's also new are these air vents or air ducts, whatever you want to call them. I don't even think they're functional, but yeah, they do look a bit different, apparently. The biggest change are the headlights. You can now get this black insert in the headlight design, and these LEDs are new, and I think it does look very, very good. It's a pretty car. So we've got M Performance wheels with M Sport brakes behind it, and these are 19s, 255/35 19-inch at the front with Continental Sport Contact 6. Cerium grey for the mirror caps. Now most M Performance models nowadays also get the full M winglet mirror cap, but not for the Z4. I think it's because they have a bespoke design, these mirror caps, so it would have been more expensive to make like an M mirror cap for just the Z4. So we have a little bit of a ducktail going on here. Really cool design, I think, integrated in the rear. Little diffuser going on right there, and these are the M40i exhaust tips. I think you get these on all Z4 models nowadays, like with the X3, although I like the rounded classic tailpipes a bit better, I have to say. Don't really like the design of this, even though they are not fake like with the M340i. That's weird. These are actual exhaust tips and not part of the bumper with a little pipe behind it. Amazing. Wow. Just figured that out. Okay, let's have a look at the engine. That's the part where they should have updated it, but they haven't. For us Europeans, of course. Because this is the B58. We now also have an M240i, which a generation ago was available also as a roadster. So that was a bit weird, having both the M240i convertible and the Z4. It's a bit too much for me in the roadster department. Apparently BMW agreed, stopped making the 2 Series convertible, and thought, okay, just buy a Z4 if you want a roadster or a convertible. This is Midnight Thunder, by the way, this purple metallic. Amazing, I love it. But the bad news, it's producing 340 horsepower and not 376 like with an M240i. And it's not because of the mild hybrid system, because the M240i also doesn't have a mild hybrid system like the M340i. But it's because of Toyota. Toyota is ruining the Z4. As you know, the Z4 and the Supra were made together with Toyota. Now, with new emissions in Europe, regulations and stuff, Toyota said, yeah, we're not going to invest anymore to get the European Supra approved for more power. Because I think the Supra isn't doing all that well over here in Europe. They're really targeting the US with their car. It's doing 380 in the US, and if you get a Z4 in the US, you also get 380 horsepower. But Toyota has a 340 horsepower Supra in Europe, and I think BMW, like, legally is limited to 340 for the Z4. I don't think they can surpass Toyota in Europe. I might be wrong, but I think this is the case. Let's see if we are missing those 40 horses that left the European stable. Well, they were never in the European stable, but let's go. So let's go to Sport Individual. I have everything in Sport except for the steering. I like it better in Comfort. And let's get going. Just go to put the ESP in Sport mode. Is that Sport mode? These tires, they're pretty weird. When they're cold, they don't have any traction, none. It really reminds me of the old Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires I had on my M40i. That was the same story. So even though we have this wind deflector right here, there's quite a bit of wind noise going through the cabin. Even though we're doing like 90, I mean, that should be a bit more relaxed than this in terms of wind noise, I think. So when you exceed 100, it's not all that nice, I think. But I have to say it's quite windy out today. Hi Max. So that might have something to do with it. The gearbox, ZF 8-speed, nice and snappy. It really is always a bit crispier, a bit nicer, a bit faster with the rear-wheel drive models like M240i, Z4 M40i. Nearly all these M Performance models nowadays have xDrive, and sometimes the rear-wheel drive version is just nicer and more fun and, well, better. Okay, let's do a launch control, which is also different than with other M40i's. This is, I think, something Toyota invented, because let's see if it's building boost on launch. So on the top left corner you can see the turbo pressure. Slightly increasing turbo pressure. There we go. Oh wow, that's a lot faster than I got like when I did the acceleration test with this car. So I did a 4.9 seconds to 100, but it was clearly crawling for more pressure. It took really long, as you could see. And that's not the case with other M40i models. So maybe a Toyota invention. It also sounds a bit different, especially on the outside, because there is no exhaust sound whatsoever. I don't know why that's the case, because like a mild hybrid M340i nowadays actually sounds pretty damn good. So they can do it, they just didn't do it with the Z4. What I do absolutely love, and what is unique for the Z4, is like seating position. You feel like you're sitting on the rear axle, you have that rear wheel drive. It's really nice to handle. The front is really aggressive and it likes to turn in, even though we have quite a big 6-cylinder in the front. It is really a driver's car. It is a lot of fun to drive, and it really challenges you. So for a modern car, that's absolutely
the people trying to complete each other under one breath. Hands up!
I mean, if you go
Hands up! Sing it fast!
so much fun.
Budapest! You ready? 1 and 2.
And going there, I hope you will go on the Autobahn, because it's not too bad either over there. Let's try that out. It really does seem a bit asthmatic after 6,000 RPM, Now that is a B58 floor, but with this one, it's even worse. And I think it's because of the down tuning, because you know normally these things do like 380, as you know. Oh yes, go ahead, Mr. Truck Driver, pull me a gap. So when I do acceleration tests with this car, I really shift up at 6,000 RPM, because after that it's really going down in power. So 100 to 200. It is a little over 11 seconds, which is so bad.
Make some noise from Macklemore!
And because of the shape of the Z4, it's really fast after like 230, because you know it's a really sleek car and it just goes through air like a bullet. So the brakes for an M Performance car, they're not that bad. They are pretty good, I would say. Normally with like M Performance models, M40i's, they're a bit underpowered, but I think for this Z4 they are just spot on. I think if you're looking for a driver's car, a 718 Boxster Porsche might be the better choice, but if you're looking for a GT, like holiday sports car, I think with the practicality of having a boot, this is really, really good, and I think the best on market, because even the more expensive Audi TT-RS is less involving and less challenging to drive than this. I drove them back to back a few days ago and I really prefer this. Seats were better, seating position is better, driving dynamics is a lot better. Yes, the TT has a lot more power, but I prefer, as a total package, this car. So even though we don't get the 380 horsepower version you get in the US, the Z4 M40i still is a fantastic BMW. I think it's the most pretty Z4 we've had so far. And even though we don't have a full-blown M model, I think this is what we are looking for when we want a sporty Z4, and I think that's also why BMW decided not to go with an M model, because there's just something weird about a full hardcore convertible like an M4 convertible. This is the sweet spot when it comes to performance for a convertible, and this just looks delicious, even though this is quite boring specced with black. You have that wonderful iDrive system you don't get in the Supra. You have way better materials. I just love this car, even though it's not as performance focused as some of us want it to be. Thank you for watching. Go subscribe to our channel by clicking the big button right here. Go check out this review or this POV reviews playlist. Bye guys.